This week on RSBANDB Update, RuneScape Ahead presents the 2026 roadmap. Treasure Hunter is gone, RuneScape is rebranded, and the starting areas are graphically reworked. We learn more about integrity, Havenhythe, and 120 construction. Can the road to restoration save RuneScape? This is RSBANDB Update, episode 1073, recorded Thursday, January 22nd, 2026. The road to restoration begins. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of RSBANDB Update. This week, RuneScape Ahead premiered. Treasure Hunter was given the axe, and we got, in Jagex's words, the roadmap that changes RuneScape forever. Tanis, you're here. Welcome. What do you think?
Thank you, Shane.
Looking forward to this?
Yes, it absolutely changes it forever.
It really does.
Named.
It really does. It really does. Pernacius is also here, everybody's second favorite Australian. Welcome
G'day,
aboard,
g'day, all.
Are you feeling juiced up?
For the roadmap, I'm very excited for the roadmap. Very, very optimistic on the roadmap side. Apologies to the clan mates who, when I logged in on Tuesday and saw the new interface and such, and cracked the wobblies and wanted to quit and everything because it was just so ugly and such. But the roadmap saved it.
Right on,
It's
right on.
a very exciting year by the look of things.
Yeah, and I am left asking the question at the end of the day, can this road to restoration save RuneScape? And I know that sounds a little bit sensationalist from us here, but when you consider the move of removing Treasure Hunter and just how long the company has to turn things around and pivot RS3 to a subscription-based game, you are really asking the question, can this road to restoration save RuneScape, and can it catapult it into that new era, which is what we're going to discuss. But before that, we would not be doing this episode if not for our experienced tier Patreon members this week. That includes Amos Reed, Bladecom, Dominic R., Jade Gizmo, Jason S., Jesse W., Julia W., Keski, Lemon Lodge, Luminos, Ricky A., Oasis, Snail Mage, the Naked Captain, and Tim. Big, huge thank you to all of you. You'll hear more about our Patreon offerings a little bit later in the podcast, but if you want to follow along, we do have full show notes available over at update.show. The community Discord can be found over at update.show/Discord, and the friends chat can be found in-game at BitsBYtes. All right, so let's just dive in. The road to restoration, which I'm calling, for their part, a very significant rebrand of RuneScape that begins with the removal of Treasure Hunter. How do you guys think that they stuck the landing on this in terms of how impactful that is?
I mean, yes. I mean, the removal of Treasure Hunt, as we've said in previous episodes, I mean, the money coming in from Treasure Hunter has been declining year on year over the past several years. So they had to do something. I mean, this isn't all, oh, look, we're doing this for you. They've seen the writing on the board. Less income coming in, people getting upset over some of the more egregious promotions that they've had and quitting, and a lot of those people staying away. So something had to happen, and this is, yes, it's a bold step, but it's a necessary step, because for the game's survival, they want to be here for the next 10 years. They have to do something, and this is a good way to try it.
And RS3 is not old school. It doesn't have those 250,000 people playing it that are acting as subs. You got to have a stream of revenue somewhere. Tanis, how do you feel?
You can't underestimate what a big step this is, what a big deal this is. At the same time, I can't help but feel like Treasure Hunter died with a whimper. You know what I mean? Like, it kind of petered out, which is good, I guess. But at the end of the day, it's a huge step. and there's a lot, there's so much more um, planned, and that's the thing that really gets me is it's not just the removal of Treasure Hunter.
No,
They're going so much further.
it's it's a relief. It's a relief to have Treasure Hunter gone, but the work really is just beginning, and in many ways, it's a lot like figuring out exactly what you're going to do after an old corrupt regime disappears and leaves. It's like, how are you going to replace what people had come to expect day by day? And how are you going to replace that in a way that not only carries forward what people will expect of the game, but also how it can make the game grow? I am personally of the belief that, this is something that players have been asking for forever, basically, whenever it came to Treasure Hunter. Because I was looking back this week to things around, say Hero Pass, Yak Track, Rune Pass, when Treasure Hunter first came out, and everything that we saw in relation to all of this, it was brought forward with the underlying subtext that, oh, well, yeah, we're going to talk about the content that's going to be coming out for this quarter or these 6 months. But there is always this underlying subtext. When are we going to talk about monetization? When?
Mm-hmm.
When? And that conversation didn't start till last year.
But I think you hit the nail on the head. What are they going to do to grow the game? And that is the most important question, because you're losing revenue. Treasure Hunter was dying anyway, but it was still bringing in revenue. What are you going to do to replace that? Well, you have to increase your membership base. What does that take? Well, it takes some good advertising. It's going to, and you're going to have to be clear, money to make money.
Well, it's not a simple matter of making people play RS who are playing old school, because that's one membership right now. You buy membership for one, you have membership for both. So getting somebody to, switch between the two games, that doesn't help the bottom line.
That doesn't matter. No. And that's exactly right. You have to bring in those people from WoW, from Star Trek Online, from all those other games out there.
I don't know that they do, because RuneScape has such a gigantic base over 25 years. Do they have to get new people, or do they just have to get enough people that remembers RuneScape to play again?
Exactly. To get those people back in, to get those declined memberships back.
And
I call that a new player.
And that's what I said in that article about saving RuneScape, because each and every update that we got after EOC, in one way or another, no matter how you looked at it, a graphical update, a combat update, a promotion update, a move to Yak Track, then to Hero Pass, it continually split, polarized, bifurcated the community to a point that the only people who are left playing this version of RS are the ones who have some strong attachment to it, that they don't have any other reasonable alternative that they would have swapped to at this point.
That's it. And I mean, let's be honest. I mean,
it's a core 25 to 30K people.
Yeah, exactly. And an OSRS, it's a great game, but it's the official private server game. It goes back and gives you sort of all that sort of nostalgia type thing. RS3 is supposed to be the flagship game. That is the one you should have the majority of your player base playing. And, they have been bleeding that. We have been bleeding players. I mean, archaeology brought some people back. We've had seasonal events, they bring people back. But, bringing a person back for a month or two is not good enough. You need to have those people dedicating a couple of years of membership to get their characters up to enjoy the game, and that is the biggest thing, to enjoy the game. And I think with the removal of Treasure Hunter and some other things that we'll discuss later on, I think that is going to get us more back to basics of enjoying a game.
See, I think the important part about removing Treasure Hunter is you're taking away the weapon. We've just been cutting ourselves and hitting ourselves over the head over and over and over. I mean, dyes, tradable rares, you name it. A myriad of treasure hunter items that people didn't
You remember
like because it was too powerful.
The debate around the Ensouled Pumpkin Mask.
And just, if nothing else, they took away the weapon. Right?
You imagine those things. You imagine those things coming in through actual gameplay, through your treasure trails, through, I mean,
it would have been a different,
even if you just had them on seasonal events, where people are coming in and we get so many points, we can get this mask, which helps us out, and that type of thing. I mean, untradeable rares, I'm not a neither here nor there for me, but it's something that's always been on Treasure Hunter, and you're spending money on to incorporate it into actual gameplay. Can only add to that enjoyment, add to that adrenaline rush. That feel good moment, which is what we want from the game. I mean, on Treasure Hunter, it's exactly the same as going and playing your one-arm bandits at the casino. You just pump in coins, pull the switch, or push the button, whatever it is these days. It is that you're getting an adrenaline rush from that rather than from the core concept of the game, which is playing a game.
Yeah, but don't get too excited like all that stuff is coming in the game, because it ain't. Look, there's going to be so many fundamental changes. It's almost like we got a bunch of crappy tattoos in our early 20s, and now we're getting them removed or something, right? Because all that cosmetic stuff is all going to be gone eventually, with the toggle and stuff, and decluttering and all that.
That's a return to grounding of the game. Another thing that was addressed in that,
right? I mean,
in that Juna story.
And there's going to be so many things like that those concepts that had Treasure Hunter, we'll never see those in the game again. I don't think, if they're being true to it.
I don't think so. I mean, if they're thematically.
If they're thematically acceptable, then they can go in through a marketplace thing.
Exactly. And I mean, people are still going to want dyes and such to differentiate their weapons in their banks and things like that. So these are things that they can incorporate into the core gameplay, because people are going to want to have different colors for different bosses and different perks on whatever it has, things like that. I mean, and not everyone's going to toggle off. I mean, I won't toggle off cosmetics. I don't care what people have. The only place I would ever do it is if I'm at the divination area when you've got 6 people with dragons and you can't see anything. But other than that one's
coming later on down the line. And all of this underscores the whole new deal with RuneScape, the new era, as they're calling it, is that everything that we've known for the last, 13 plus years, let's say, is up for reconsideration. And I think that's a very good thing, something that makes me very optimistic about the way things can go. Because if you are willing to reconsider things such as basic as how your game is monetized, it really raises a question of what is your player for? And, there's an unfortunate truth, I think, with a lot of players that they play with an efficiency-minded outlook that has been catered to over the last 13 plus years, to a point that if you're not playing efficiently, as in not doing the dailies, then you're gonna run into a problem where you're not gonna have the utmost positive path to success at the end of the day. And I think of some of the things that come out with this integrity roadmap, can change that, that's nothing but a good thing. And it all started with removing Treasure Hunter, but the biggest significant thing that they're addressing in addition to Treasure Hunter is an entire new rebrand for the game, both in terms of a new logo and brand new key art for the game and inside the lobby screen, which is something that really speaks volumes as to the way that they're going. And people will conveniently know that the 3 is gone, and we're just referred to as RuneScape now, the game.
Yeah. And I do appreciate that sort of throwback to that old sort of classic, well, not classic look, but the old
the stones. The stone.
Well,
yeah, it's just that look. It looks like RuneScape. It looks like that type of game. We had the big R catching on fire and all that type of stuff for the previous one. I think, I do like these graphics better. As I said, and Shane's trying to send us all to the bathroom again with his sounds there, but yeah, I mean, just have a look at that. I mean, that is what we expect from a modern day, from what we want on a modern day game. It looks beautiful. It looks exactly what we want.
We have a thing with the software we use where I can send them my system sounds relatively easily, and I was standing over the Lumbridge River there.
But I think the other thing that I like about this is something you pointed out earlier, Pern. It just calling it RuneScape psychologically means like this is your ground game. This is your base game. This is the star of the show.
Yep.
This is RuneScape, right? It's not RuneScape 3. It's not
RuneScape 4.
This is your flagship. This is your classic game. This is your flagship game.
And in addition to the new branding kit, they redid Miscellaneous and Asgarnia, which of course includes Lumbridge Varrock, Draenor, Palador. Which what do you guys think of the graphical rework?
All needed.
Love it.
Yeah. And I like this. Sorry, Pern.
No, I was going to say putting the clan portal up in. I mean, that GE is such a waste of space for how size of it is. Putting the portal up there, in the GE was a brilliant move, and it cleans up down that area. I mean, same as Prif. I mean, we got the portals in the GE there, so it makes sense to have that there, and it's sort of more of an area where people are going to go to and get around and such. So, I couldn't fault any of the graphical updates and that side.
Like it looks immaculate with what we got.
Exactly. It looks like a medieval world.
Zant wanted to be here but couldn't. But we're even down to the point where if you look at the stones on the buildings, there's more texture to them, and they look less Play-Doh-y, is the way that it was said.
Good, Dev. Good point.
So, you got the removal of Treasure Hunter. You have a complete new rebranding of what RuneScape is, and then you combine this with a graphical rework for the starting areas of the game, including, as they said in the video, one patch note where they basically completely updated all of the trees in the game, the regular trees, the oak, and the willow trees have a brand new look to them with this update.
And this is another good thing. You're going to start having that nice flow through the game. Not that jarring. I mean, go from Zenaris and then head across to the
fort, that
beautiful area. Well, not the fort, up where we did the Needle Skips quest and all that. How beautiful that area looks. And to get that flow through the game and make it look like one world and not like you're jumping between two different games is, again, can only help. And with some good marketing strategies and getting some return, there's 300 million accounts out there. Yeah, I know we know a lot of those are going to be bot accounts and such.
Right,
But, I mean,
and how
even
many
if
of
you
them
say,
play actively?
Exactly. Even if you say 2/3 of that are bot accounts, that still leaves you 100 million players
To pull from and get to come back.
to pull from. Exactly.
Yeah. And that's the thing, whether it be with content or the road to restoration, it's about bringing those people back in and giving them a reason to play. Because another thing that was mentioned in the road to restoration bit of the roadmap was that RuneScape's at its best when it respects your time, which means that you shouldn't necessarily, feel compelled to log in and complete a checklist. And yeah, exactly. Because, we have phones and whatnot, and we can log in for, a 5, 10, 15-minute play session on that. But I know plenty of people who, can go for 6+ hours. And we did the monthly bit on Dailyscape and whatnot in the past with the Dailyscape tier list. And Thaxi blew me away with that. He said it's entirely possible that if he wanted to, he could spend upwards of 2.5 hours just doing dailies on the group iron before he begins doing anything else.
That's the thing. I mean, those shop runs, I mean, you've got the GE. Those shopkeepers should be in one place, where it's bought from those. You can go out to those areas if you want to, but you should be able to just go to that one place, go, I want that, I want that, I want that, I want that. Bang, done, move on, play my game. Shop runs should not be a significant part of your time playing each day and that type of thing. And this is the type of stuff that hopefully they will be addressing, and going forward we're not going to have to do that. I mean, for me, I go out to Naotisnot, whatever it's called out there, to get my 1,000 yak hide. I'll do that once a week for summoning.
Right, and there's
like
a tangible benefit to those things, like your achievement stuff, like your sand, like your dyes from and whatnot. But, feeling the need to go into the daily challenge system and do that, feeling the need to, have a time each and every week to go do Herbie Werby, to do the effigy incubator every month, the troll invasion minigame, Tears of Guthix, Bork, and I can just keep running down this list, right?
Of course.
And that's one of the things that they want to address with that is Dailyscape.
Exactly. When they have the beach there, they have all the little portals that you can go and do a lot of those at. That is brilliant. Why not utilize the GE and put those portals there? Why not? I mean, you've got the Gamer's Grotto. Just shove everything down there so you can just go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You're in the same spot. You don't have to run backwards and forwards and teleport here, teleport there. Just do it all in one area if you want to do those type of things.
And everything that has been graphically updated, I think it's good to do it for the purposes of updating the graphics. But I think another thing a lot of people underestimated with the graphical update this week is the clean break that enables as a method of persuasion and making a splash in the pool, to say that, hey, we're really serious about this. We're really just doing more than removing Treasure Hunter. This new era means that even, the basic things like Lumberge and Vrog get reconsidered.
Hey, Solomon's gone.
Yeah.
I didn't even know. I did not even notice that until you just ran there.
Yep. Yeah.
So, and that's it. I mean, just cleaning up and making it, and just putting things in there that are necessary. And kudos to the graphics team. I think they did a spectacular job with these graphic updates that we've had. Lunar Isle that still blows my mind away. I just go there, and if I'm doing some bank standing, do it at Lunar Isle sometimes.
They published a map of map square tiles that have been updated.
Yes.
And pretty much all of Draenor, Lumberage, Varrock has been updated. Considerable work has been done to areas around the Powder Domes and Archaeology Guild, as well as Miscellaneous around Valador and whatnot. But the interesting thing here is under the areas that they want to tackle includes things like Alcarid, and
Uglog.
and Port Sarim.
Yep.
So that will presumably be coming in a future update, but it really does underscore, that this is more than just the removal of Treasure Hunter. This is the beginning of something big that they're calling the Road to Restoration, and to give people a taste of that, I think it's important that they also acted visually this week by going and doing a graphical rework on these areas.
Yep.
So,
yeah, great timing to do it with the and that's that's the free area of the game basically has been redone, and this would have been a perfect time for that marketing team to pull out those 300 million email accounts for those players and just
I'm sure
them,
they'll be doing a ton of outreach.
Yeah.
After this,
7 days play and just come and have a look at the new RuneScape and get people in and looking at it. So, it's
something.
I'm sorry. I think it's a real positive thing going forward with what we're seeing.
What about the UI? Because they did completely do the UI this week, and
that's where they almost lost me.
Right, but this is the shift from blue to brown. Tanis, how are we with colorblind accessibility stuff on this UI change?
So to me, like, I started wondering, like, damn. I mean, I know I'm blind, but is it worse? Because like I come in thinking this is fine. I don't. Like it was even better. Listening to Pern, I think I figured out like why it's so different because it sounds like he uses stuff that I don't use anyway.
What do you
the
got?
way that I have mine? Well, I don't use any transparency type like that. That makes things just incredibly hard to see. So I turned that down as much as possible. So when they did away with that, that was great. And then the brown just makes it so. Well, number one, I can't see blue, but it just made it more contrasty for me. But
so this
thing
is
with
an
the UI
improvement in your perspective, then.
For me, it was, yeah. I mean, I just it was more contrasty, especially when I was in the banks and was looking at anything that was like, print type stuff.
See, which is
Like,
funny.
That's actually really good to hear, because I was wondering how that was going to be.
In the banks, I couldn't see half my stuff. It just blended into the black background.
They did cold fix. They did cold fix the banks this week.
Okay, yeah. Well, I haven't.
To make that a bit better.
I've been camped at RuneSpan this week for the points that I need, so I haven't really looked at it other than that Tuesday, and that's it. I mean, I couldn't see. I'm sitting there going, "Where is my outfit?" And just trying to find all the stuff. I had to actually do my searching through the search bar because I couldn't just see it on the screen where it was because everything was just black blobs. So.
Another thing,
it really.
Go ahead.
I also wonder too if my outlining helps or something, because that seemed to be really nice, which I don't think it has anything to do with anything. But
right. Another thing that they did is they completely revamped the legacy UI so that it feels a lot more RuneScape 3 capable, in that you can have a number of the fly up windows active in the lower right hand corner of it. And the example of that being is that you could pull up, say, powers and inventory, or stats and inventory and worn equipment. And inventory seems to be the one that will stick and persist through that. But another great thing that they did with that is they brought back the classic chat menu as an option for people who are coming back to the game and don't necessarily want to sort through all the little fly-ups from the social menu to enable things like public chat or friends chat, that sort of thing. Minimap can be made round again as an example, but this is all inherently customizable, and the only thing that's really left for you to make your own decisions on about this is, whether or not you want to, go for a custom UI, or if you want to use the setting now, the default setting, that I think is a lot more manageable than it used to be. So I think that this UI update overall is a good thing, and I think the only issues with it are some of the lightness around the borders of the window, and sometimes some of the spacing, I think. But it's actually really good, Tanis, to hear that the that the contrast issues really aren't that bad, because I was wondering how that was going to be for you.
Yeah, no, it's
Oh,
really good. So
Say again. You kind of cut out there.
Oh, I said the mouse over text was especially good, and that's
Oh,
what
really? I was wondering about that, because that
Yeah.
was another thing that was throwing a lot of people off.
the +2 options and everything on things.
Like,
Yeah,
like, is that what you're talking about? Like the +2 options and whatnot?
Mhm,
or-
Yeah, that's what
See-
that's crazy.
yeah. See, for me, that takes that like, oh, hang on, because it covers things up too much and things like that. Especially if you're trying to find a Seren spirit and you're hovering, and then there's this big box just coming over everything. 'Cause you're
Yeah,
not
well,
on the
that's an
right
option that
spot
can be
and-
turned off.
I bet you though, like to me, I'm just seeing that everything looks nicer because I'm used to only seeing a little bit at a time,
Mm.
right? So like, maybe that's like one of the difference, but no, I thought it looked good.
All right. And I think the biggest thing that has jarred people, like you said, Pern, was the question of, is there going to be an option to go back to the blue? And they said in a community post somewhere, I think either on the Discord or the Reddit, that they made the decision to completely ditch the blue because, one, it's about, moving to this new era. And secondly, they felt that the blue is more centric to a kind of like a space kind of game and whatnot. And, there's some ancient lore out there that the blue might have come from, back when they were doing Mechscape to revive a age-old dead product from Jagex.
So they stuck with the baby shit brown. That's fine.
Well,
Yeah, and I mean, that's consistent. That's consistent across RuneScapes, and you can just change the transparency as you wish for it. So all the way from 0 up to max. So
yeah, I think this will save 30 minutes on the next leagues for sure.
Yeah, with the new
stuff up because you got a better template to start with.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm going to thank some Patreon supporters. Then we'll start diving into the core meat of the matter in terms of bringing back integrity at this point. So this week in particular, big huge thank you goes out to Alvaro L, Amos Reed, Arvids L, Bambino, Bladecom, Chilbura, Dominic R, Duramax, Gilfleur, Imperialis, Jade Gizmo, Jason S, Jesse W, Julia W, Kesky, Lemon Lodge, Luminos, Mattman, Mighty Myth, Michelle M, Mike Wings, Mongrath, Parnassius, Ricky A, Robbie D, Rob Sobs, Samuel FL, Scott TS, Shirt Pants, Oasis, Smavin, Snail Mage, Tabby, The Naked Captain, The Dabbing Goat, Tim, Ukulele Steve, Woody, Zant, and Zazakon. Big huge thank you, everybody. Means the world to us here as we head into this new era of RuneScape. If you want to check us out, patreon.com/RSBANB. We have tiers starting for as little as $1 a month, and for that you get a thank you in our show notes and access to the monthly bit catalog that includes a backlog now of 90 monthly bit episodes. This past weekend we published our 90th one, talking about the integrity roadmap, and in particular what integrity means and what some past integrity updates have been, and how that can have a different feeling based on how you see RuneScape. Now, granted, we have a bit more information on that now, but the way we dove into it, we looked at it in terms of past integrity updates and what this means for effectively rebuilding and rebuilding the trust within the community. So if you want to listen to that, patreon.com/RSBNB, sign up, $1 a month, that's all that takes. But we do have 2 other options available at the present time. If you want to give a little bit more, we have our VIP community tier for $3 a month. With that, you'll get a monthly shout out on the show, access to high quality stereo audio. You'll also, of course, have the option to take part in things like our community days or community nights or roundtables, as we sometimes call them. We're running one of those this coming Saturday in the Discord at 4 p.m. Eastern if you're interested in joining that. And that is, of course, going to be January 24th, based on the way the calendar looks like right now. Just double checking that I got my day right on that one. But that's $3 a month, and for $5 a month, you get a shout out on the show each and every week and gain access to our clip catalog that we use to make the clip show at the end of the year, and expanded clips, sometimes from the pre and post shows. And that also entitles you, if you remain subscribed for the year, for the RSBANDB update Christmas card come December. But thank you so much, everybody, for letting us do what we do here week by week. Patreon.com/RSBANDB. Thanks so much, everyone.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks.
All right. Cosmetic toggles were brought in today as well. I forgot to mention that.
I don't care about cosmetics, so I leave them on.
I turned on hide other players' worn customizations just because they can get kind of onerous at times, and later on down the road we'll be getting an option to hide other players' familiar and conjured spirit customizations as well. So you'll actually be able to tell what people are using for a familiar without right-clicking.
Mm-hmm.
Shane doesn't like the girls running around in their bikinis.
That probably is it, actually. I didn't even think about that. Probably.
No, I just don't like the gaudiness. That's all.
Well, it is something to be said about, keeping with the art style and all that, but I think that this probably is going to kill that as a revenue stream, but we'll see.
Again, I mean, if people are going to,
if
for you, if
you want to see yours,
themselves,
that's all that matters, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's right. You want to see your own stuff and be happy wearing what you want to wear, especially if you're streaming or whatever as well. I mean, people are going to see what you're streaming, you're wearing and such. I don't think it's going to hurt it too much.
Yeah.
So the next play,
it will. Well, I was just going to say it will revitalize the quintessential, the true fashion scape that we all.
Which was.
I mean, true item fashion scape, man. You had to get creative.
All right.
You had to go and fight things in what you wanted to wear.
All right. So bringing integrity back to the heart of RuneScape, they talk about visual updates, including decluttering, regrounding items, and regrounding cosmetic overrides. Fine. And, I guess that would be a reason for people to choose to have cosmetic overrides enabled. So we'll have to, of course, wait and see what the regrounding of items and regrounding of overrides looks like. And I guess that means just put it in the typical sense of, would it fit in the RuneScape universe, and not does it have, huge amounts of particles and sparkly things flying off it, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's my read on that. The combat modernization is coming in February with one more beta. Now, this was a little bit shocking because we haven't heard much else since as to exactly what the plan is for this. But they say with this, melee, magic, and ranged have long suffered from dated designs and general inconsistencies, especially in the early game. This results in a confusing and contradictory experience, ultimately resulting in unnecessary friction during early game combat. So with this, these updates take the learning from previous combat updates like Necromancy and 2023's combat update to modernize the styles and provide a clean foundation. Now, we knew most of that coming from the ranged beta in terms of everything that's going to be on here. but they're targeting February for this, folks. Before
That was
Havenhythe
the
arrives.
shocking part.
Because from the sounds of it, they're going to do attack, strength, and magic as well in this update. Not just range for February, but those three. So that's a little bit shocking that it's going to be that quick.
Yeah, I think that's going to be the theme as we go here. It's very ambitious.
Yeah. Another thing that's going to come with this is a solid food rebalance. So they say its adrenaline cost negates any generated adrenaline through basic attacks, leading to situations where you can't gain adrenaline. And in the end game, on the other hand, reliance on Soul Split avoids this. So to prevent solid food from being a noob trap, solid food has had its adrenaline cost reduced. Additionally, in the early game, food scales with your constitution level. This creates unnecessary confusion. So this has been removed in favor of healing static amounts. So we're going back to where a shark will heal the same 2,000 across the board or something to that effect.
Yeah,
cool.
That's a good idea.
Good.
Combat ores removed.
Make food great again, right?
Yeah, that's what we were talking about in terms of cooking. Because cooking, what use is cooking aside from the few fish at the top, right?
Yeah.
Exactly what I was saying a few weeks ago. Making these things relevant again, and that's, I mean, again,
that's what we like to see.
This is why I'm quietly optimistic about the skilling rebalancing and such, because if we bring in things like this and make stuff necessary and useful again, it can only be a good thing.
Yeah, absolutely. So we'll keep our eyes on that, and the ones that I'm specifically most interested in is to see what they do with melee, because we all know how difficult that was to get into and how good it felt in leagues when it was unchanged.
How fun it was. Yeah.
All right. You mentioned balancing, Pern.
Yep.
They're going to have 3 balancing updates throughout the year, starting with the early game, then moving to the mid-game, and then the end game later on. And with this, they're going to be talking about tackling unnecessary friction at early levels by addressing root issues like shrimp catch rates, pickpocket stun chance, drop tables, and much more. Now, I think the part where people get scared is when you expand that to the mid and end game.
No, I don't. So I think this is where people get scared, is that we all know there needs to be a change, right? Something needs to change. And going through Fresh Start, going through leagues, I don't think I'm the only person that kind of figured out and learned.
No.
The progression is much more important than whatever XP number they attach at the end of the day.
Yeah.
But
look at archaeology.
All that people are familiar, right? But all people are familiar with is Jagex just coming in and not doing that side of things and just chopping the number. And so that's where the apprehension is
or just adding new stuff in.
Because that's all they've ever done.
Or just adding new stuff in the 70s, 80s, and 90s and letting the stuff at the bottom languish. Because that's another point I make in that article about, the road to restoration saving RuneScape is you need an early game. You need a mid game. And if these balance passes and things like Havenhythe can add a bit of depth to what's already there and then breadth it out even further, that's going to be a good thing. Something that hasn't happened in a long, long time.
That's it. And with this balancing update, I mean, they need to marry their skills together, like fishing and cooking. I mean, you shouldn't be 102 fishing, and for the amount of fish that you've caught, be sitting at 78.
Yeah.
That's just crazy.
What is that? What your gimmick is?
You figure that out, and not in the Iron Man, right? Like that's where you really you're like,
exactly.
What
that's where you
is
notice
going on here?
Yeah. And that type of balancing. I mean, skills that are complementary to each other should be running level. I mean, it's the same with smithing and mining. Your mining is so much higher than your smithing. They did, but still, your if you just mind your own ores and smith it, your smithing level will still be 5 or 6 levels below your mining level.
Yep.
So Tanis, are
you
you worried
too.
about this?
The
Because
fishing and cooking.
because
No,
you and
I'm
I
excited about this.
No, Tanis, because you and I talked
sorry.
about this when it came to the thieving update in particular, that you saw, how lucrative 120 thieving was,
Mhm.
and you saw what the option and, what things were going to be for this. Now that you know what integrity means in terms of these balance updates, and we got a bit of a picture, how do you feel?
Cautiously optimistic, right? Like I said,
Well, I'll take that from somebody who wanted nothing to do with,
Yeah.
XP rates being nerfed or things being rebalanced.
Well, it's almost like, but I see it almost like as a restructuring. Like it's not even, and I'm still going to get that. I mean, there's still going to be an opportunity for that power fantasy or whatever of being able to go and experience the stuff quicker. But as for just having, the XP rate, it's neither here nor there anymore. What did it really mean? Because when you're going through leagues, you're trying to get to that next unlock. So you can, I mean, it goes hand in hand with the rate, but it just isn't that important.
Yeah, leagues is a race, whereas the game itself is just a marathon. You just want to get there and do things and experience everything, and there's no time limit on the actual game itself.
And that's why it's so important that it be approached with good balance.
Exactly.
But see, I guess that's where we differ. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I don't think that it should be slow as snot, right? Like, I'm not saying that, yay, I'm all about let's make it so that I have to play this fucking game for 6 months to be at mid-level or something. But what I'm saying is, like, also don't think that it matters what the XP is. I mean, it's the unlocks along the way. Now, I know that it's going to be like what you guys are saying. I know they're going to slow it down. And in that regard, it's like the critics are going to get everything that they've ever wanted. So it better work.
It better be worth it in the end, is what you're saying.
Because I still have, yeah. Well, what will they blame then? If the XP isn't the boogeyman, if MTX isn't the boogeyman, then what's the boogeyman? It's the man in the mirror. Who it's always been.
Exactly right.
So.
Look inward.
In addition to that, we also, of course, have the Dailyscape overhaul alongside the value proposition of playing RS. And they say this will be a holistic look at all Dailyscape systems, from shop stocks to Viswax to D&Ds, and even, yes, hourly wildy events. We want RuneScape to be a game you enjoy playing for what it is, when you feel like it, without a checklist of chores to complete. Thank you.
And that's going to be an interesting one, because wildy events, I mean, they're a pain in the ass. I mean, we don't suffer from them on the Iron Man or the competitive Iron Man, but they are such a big part of your play styles these days, and the rewards that come from. I mean, that dark facet is a huge reward.
I cannot understate how revealing Leagues was that Dailyscape is a problem.
Oh, yeah.
Because I had always just, made the decision to cut it out and ignore it. But when you're trying to get to that next relic, that next tier, every bit of XP matters. And the daily systems that were in play, including those Wilderness Flash events, were toxic as hell. I am glad this is here.
I wouldn't call them toxic.
They were in Leagues. It's more protracted out in the main game.
Well,
But see, even in leagues, I
Yeah.
don't think they were toxic. They were just a way. I mean, it was just quick. You'd run in there, it's 5 minutes work, and away you go. I mean, there was no toxicity there, I
Well,
don't
no,
think.
I mean toxic in that it provided a path to do things in the game without interacting
Devalued.
in core skills. It
Okay,
removed
yeah.
the value.
So it devalued.
Like you were
yeah.
the example, Pern. How you
the
went from
range.
level 30 whatever ranged all the way to 99 from those events.
Pretty much, yep. 90% of those events.
So, now granted, that happens over, weeks and months in the main game, but still the same sort of idea. And, they pivot as well with that into the auras and, just saying, hey, auras are going away.
Well, I think people should be able to have like the same freedom that I play with.
Yeah.
Because even
Totally.
in leagues, like I still just couldn't play that way. I just can't. I'll catch one if I can, if I'm around, this or that, but I never like go out of my way to hit any daily. And yeah, I hope everybody can play because when you're trying to hit that goal, when you're on your grind, like you can't afford to miss it, like you're saying. But I've just never been compelled like that, like because
Whereas with
I'm here for fun.
I wanted to max my account on League, so those things were hugely important to make sure you were there for.
Yeah, absolutely.
But these auras, I mean, that's going to be the interesting thing. I am
the
really
sense that I've got
interested
from
to
what
see
they've
how
said
they do this.
is that if a benefit needs to exist elsewhere in the game or nothing else exists like it, they'll try and find a place to put it in through a different system.
I think it's going to be the combat auras that are going to be the ones that...
Well, the fix to that is
troublemakers.
moving magic, strength, attack, range to 120. Do you get the similar sort of damage buff by doing that?
My vampirism aura in conjunction with my soul split is going to be hurt because that's the only combat aura that and penance.
But
they're the two auras
but here's another thing. Then you know how we have prayer renewal pots, right? Imagine you can have some kind of food that gives you a heal over time for a minute at a time. You just take one bite.
Oh, yeah,
there's
exactly
your
right. And that's
replacement.
what I mean. That's what I mean. Yeah, it's going to be good because they're going to have to. Yeah, it's going to make food great again because you don't have a vampirism aura to be doing that all the time. So you're going to have to use prayer renewals. You're going to have to be using food to keep up with all that.
And you can use more complex recipes. You can use more complex items, things that might take longer. You know what I mean? Like you do what RuneScape always does, which is build an economy around this kind of stuff. And
you sailfish pie that takes different ingredients and gives you that same effect as your aura did, but it does it in 5-minute segments rather than the full hour where you just click and forget. So it is, as I said, it is going to be a really interesting time, and I'm optimistic about it.
Yeah, another thing they mentioned
all the right things.
Yeah,
like all the right things.
Another thing that was mentioned was a deep clean and MTX management or item banishment. I have no idea what a deep clean is.
Well, I think they're going to have to just go through everything. I mean, you've got aura refreshers, you've got, all those little Valentine slams and all those type of things.
Ugh.
I mean, there is so much out there.
Oh, could that just mean like removing junk items like that aren't needed in the new regime?
Dude, I mean,
like, is that what that sounds like?
Whole tab.
Yeah. I mean, all these different things that you don't even remember about, but, they give this and they give that and you charge them up through.
But they didn't say what it was. All it says is Deep Clean Part 1 and Deep Clean Part 2.
Well, Deep Clean Part 2, I think, is going to be just the full removal when they said January next year.
Well, no, there's a separate item that is MTX item banishment, which is that.
Okay.
Well, you think that will actually, no, that doesn't matter anyway, because I was thinking of...
We don't know what the Deep Clean is.
Silverhawks or whatever, so...
That's MTX item
I don't know,
banishment.
I mean, it could be the items, though, because, like I said, like, I got a whole tab of nothing but that. I
Yeah.
mean, top to bottom
Yeah,
tab.
same. Okay. But in general, that's what they class as bringing integrity back to the heart of RuneScape. There's some other things on here we didn't really talk about yet. They're talking about a game update to social improvements. I don't know what that means. I think that can't be anything but a new grouping system. I think that's, what we would all like jump up and down for, is a grouping system that actually works.
The new grouping system, same as the old.
Well, I think they were. I mean, that's kind of what it sounded like reading it. But it sounded like there were social improvements kind of as a whole, like as a group. They were calling that.
Yeah, but keep in mind,
'Cause
we're looking at October, November, December for these things, so we'll hear more about that down the road.
Next up, the thing that Tanis is most excited about.
Plugins?
Plugins.
I'm sorry.
I'm going to sit back and
cool.
let you go because I know nothing about these, so I'm going to sit back and let you guys do this.
My head is gonna explode if this game gets plugins before Old School officially. Because this is something they've been wanting to do for the Old School client since forever. And if they're saying we're going to get this by December or January of this year, holy crap.
Yeah, this could really help me out. Like, I mean, the possibilities are endless.
They
Like,
are. Quest helper.
That's a possibility.
Tile markers.
Yeah.
Like, I think those are the big
endless.
ones, honestly.
Yeah, that's going to be a huge one. Yeah. I've never done a clue, not one, ever.
Right? Clue
Maybe
helper.
we do one. Yeah.
And just to give people an idea of the plugins that are used on Old School, the top 5 plugins are Quest Helper, 117 HD, which is a HD version of the game, Guardians of the Rift Helper, which is their runecrafting minigame, Tile Packs, which are for tile markers, and the Sailing plugin. Those are the top 5 right now. If we go a little bit further, we have a plugin for the Tombs of Amasket raid, and WikiSync, which we learned about with Leagues by sending bits of information off to the wiki for completion's sake and whatnot. So, yeah, I don't know what to say about this. I'm like
Just
I
think
said,
how helpful that would be during leagues.
oh yeah, all
Wow.
of them. It's just like, really? Are we here?
It's the end of an era and the start of a new. They said it couldn't be done. Here we are.
If I'm
Actually,
gonna be,
all this stuff they said couldn't be done. And here we are.
well, Tanis, you know what that just proves?
Advancement in technology.
No, things are only impossible
think
until they're
can be-
not.
Yep.
It's one of my favorite Captain Picard Next Generation quotes.
Mhm.
Wow. We could stop here. We really could. We really could. However, we actually have content involving Havenhythe, a bit of information that we got around that. We can expect 2 story quests, 2 early game bosses, 2 mini quests, 110 hunter, new skilling for woodcutting and fishing, and a archaeology soil sifting familiar. All to come March 23rd with Havenhythe Part 1. Now that's an expansion.
Yeah.
We'll leave the quests and the bosses off to the side, but one of the bosses is going to be focused around teaching prayer switching, which I know how you guys feel about that, but it's an important
Isn't there
combat
all-
skill.
Is there an
Isn't there already
API
a
for
thing?
that?
No,
Isn't
having plugins
that called
do your
JAD?
having plugins do your prayer switching is not allowed.
Then what's the point of it? Oh.
Well, it's about crossing a line, right?
It could signal me when to switch my prayers. And
No, that's illegal
would be
too.
Okay. Just signal me?
Yeah.
Oh, that sucks. Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
So you can have an alarm to
alright.
drink a potion, but you can't have an alarm to switch prayers. That's interesting.
But we got some screenshots for Havenhythe, and then I see a full farming patch here, which is important. Just a very grounded first age civilization here. The woodcutting option is red ivy, which responds slower than the green ivy that we have. So that's the woodcutting training method. And for fishing, it's going to be level 82 fishing with giant crayfish. That's an option there. And
Cool.
as we get closer to the year, we'll delve more into the storyline of exactly what is happening with that. But 110 Hunter is seen as an expansion of the big game hunter system. Effectively, you're going to become the hunted one, as they said in the in the post. And how do you guys feel about that? Leaning in on like the big game hunter.
I don't mind big game hunt, or a couple of the ones in the big game hunt. I hate the birds because they just go in walk in weird angles, but the others aren't so bad. So having a more lean forward, rewarding gameplay, I think, is good. I'm having a look at this fishing area, and they've basically taken that straight from deep sea fishing. But yeah, I mean, again, it's expanding the game. It's giving us different options and things. It's a good thing. But this being hunted rather than
it's not just
hunting,
about tracking; it's about surviving.
Exactly, and I like that type of idea if they do it properly.
Well, and see, the thing that makes me optimistic with that is how well they pulled off the heists, right? If they hadn't have pulled off the heists like that, I would share your concern.
I haven't done many heists, so yeah.
You should acquaint yourself with them.
I will be, but yeah, at the moment I'm concentrating on a couple of other things at the moment.
We'll also be getting level 85 to 90 range tank armor, which we have now for all the other styles that went to 110 last year, as well as the level 100 ranged masterwork armor to go with the masterwork bow that we got last year. They're also adding, and I'm curious to know what you guys will think about this, they're adding new clockwork traps in the form of birdhouses and clockwork box
That was
traps.
interesting.
Yeah.
So basically replacing Proteans with in-game
Yeah,
content.
that's the clockwork box trap.
Mm-hmm.
But the funny thing is with the birdhouse that this is the old school meta way of hunter training. And it's like a farming run, effectively. So the thing is, where will this land in terms of XP, and will it be as lucrative as the old school one is? Because the old school devs are on record as saying that was too powerful, but they feel like they can't change it now because it's an established hunter meta. So with adding new birdhouses
you can always
here,
change things.
well, see, that's the thing. They have to pull their meta
But it
changes
should be
there.
high at 110, right? Like, it just needs to match what you're trying to.
Right, because you're going to need
progress.
110 woodcutting to make an eternal magic birdhouse. Technically, right? So.
Right.
And if it's going, Hunter's going to 110, so it makes sense that it is going to be good XP behind it. But just not overkill.
Yeah, and they could ship 110 Hunter on its own, but it's coming as part of Havenhythe. And the general vibe that I get with this at this point is that when we look at exactly what Havenhythe Part 1 is, I want to, sit and say that this feels kind of in the same way that the Varlamore Part 1 expansion did over on Old School, in terms of the amount of content, both in terms of, or rather not in terms of, but the split between skilling and bossing. So, March for that one. We're also getting black chinchompas and jackalopes. They didn't say anything else about black Chinchompas, but I'm going to assume they're a tier above red. So that'll be another
I've already got a
AoE
jackalope.
ranged method. Yeah,
I've got my jackalope.
why? Like, they're a natural step up from rabbit snaring, smoothing out the early hunter experience. So that's all there is, really, I guess, to say there.
What if?
Well, we've got the jackalope in the
farm.
player-owned farm, so yeah.
What if black Chinchompas are like poison though? Like they did the same thing. They're like poison
Ooh.
or something different, you know? I don't know.
Yeah, and that's why they're kind of coy on details there.
They turn around and attack you.
All right. Outside of Havenhythe, the player avatar refresh part 1 is happening around April. You know, we all knew that this was something we felt like when they just pulled this out last June, that they were just, you know, pulling it out for the sake of it to kind of have a distraction after those layoffs. But lo and behold, here it's within touching distance in terms of being able to actually see it and make it happen. So, effectively, they said, now we're ready to get this modern grounded avatar into your hands over multiple updates. The first update will lay the foundations with a new base avatar, updated hairstyles and facial hair options, plus newly updated base clothes. Then with that, they'll be looking for feedback to prioritize future releases throughout the year, from which items and cosmetics should be updated first through NPCs that the players would like to see brought up to this standard. So
what I love about that is they're just seeking it. It's not being polled. We're just going to get your general feel on it, and we'll do what we think is best out of that, which I like. So that you're not being boxed into a corner on something, but you know.
Yeah, and you know, interestingly enough, they just provided the headshot here of the work in progress, so we don't know exactly what this is going to look like going forward. But we do have the AB next to the current avatar in terms of how that looks. So, you know, just based on the fidelity of that should be a big, huge change from when we get that.
I want to venture a guess of what it's gonna look like, because I kind of think I noticed this earlier with the other graphical stuff. This gonna sound a little crazy, but I think it's gonna look more like the Dragon Wilds avatar.
Well, that's kind of what this looks like.
I
If you
think
look at the
there's a lot
screenshot
of-
here, there's
yeah,
like a bit of
there's-
similarity in terms of the facial structure, I think.
Yeah, and I saw it in the buildings earlier too.
Oh shit,
like,
you're
ooh, that
right.
looks like
I was
that
wondering
building
why that
set.
felt familiar.
Yeah,
Like the stone and the wood, right?
yeah.
Hey, if you can do it and you've got the graphics team already doing it, why not?
I think you're right about that.
And bringing that familiar feel across all their IP.
Okay. Well, that makes me more excited about this because, you know, normally I cover the avatar up, right? And it's like you're just going to have like the headshot. That's really all that matters for it. But, and then with this, they say, we know that some of our modern outfits can feel a bit off at times, looking too shiny, flat, or smooth in certain environments compared to older, grainier textures. So with this, they'll be rolling out rendering updates to address these concerns. And as they move through 2026, they'll keep fine-tuning and improving the look and feel of the character until it is just right.
And there we go. There's where I'm saying that, I don't think cosmetics are dead and buried, because they're still going to be able to have them coming in, because that's what they're doing the player avatar for. And while there will be a certain base that will turn it off, I don't think that'll be the majority.
No.
Well, and I wasn't considering actual new cosmetics that fit what they're trying to do. I'm picturing what we have now with the tails and the wings and
the bikinis and all that stuff.
You know, that kind of deal. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I understand what you mean now. Yeah.
All right. 120 construction, anyone?
This This looks this I
A
think was
new
that
recipe
Dark Horse,
system that
just,
lets you unlock and build furniture inspired by your past, present, and future adventures. So they're going down that achievement road of using your house as a showcase. And they say part of this update is also about bringing back that social spark and the joy of showing off your home, inviting friends, and maybe even hosting the occasional house party.
Again, it was impossible until it wasn't, right?
Yep.
How many times did we hear that?
I have a controversial ask
I'm
for the.
so
I have a controversial
I'm
ask for
excited.
120 construction.
Okay. Surface on Surface?
No.
Okay.
Kill Wars Retreat. Move all the Wars Retreat facilities into the POH.
yes.
That would be awesome, but dude, I think you would cause a riot, but I mean, that would be cool.
That's it. I mean, I think everything should be like your
Dude,
access
we
to
could-
all of your-
Imagine you are the top PVMer in the game. You have your POH. You open your POH. You offer 2026's version of Wars Retreat.
your group coming through your grouping system comes to your house, you teleport from there. What if we took Wars Retreat and the things from Max Guild that we had? Let's take all this stuff and make useful freaking rooms in a useful freaking house.
Imagine in your house building, having rooms built up that will offer you the old, well, not the Protean stuff, the
portables.
The skilling portables, that you build those skilling portables in your own house, and
if you do
they may
that,
break down after a
and
while,
you bring-
and you've got to repair them and things like that. But just imagine being able to do all that.
If you do that and you bring Wars Retreat content into the POH and remove Wars Retreat, then the POH will be useful for RS3. That's how you do it.
Yep.
It's just a question of
Love
if they can get the license to remove Wars Retreat.
Love it.
Yeah, I mean, as long as the stuff is there, it shouldn't matter, but it might.
Although the one thing I do love about Wars Retreat is teleporting in there, and you look straight over to the left-hand side to see if a secret agent has spawned.
Yeah, well,
I get a lot of secret agents there.
I see penguins as something that needs to be balanced, honestly. So let's not get too excited about that.
But yeah, I mean, this looks fantastic, and the all the different, like, they've just shown chest of drawers. It is going to be fantastic.
Yeah, as soon as we round up all the penguins.
And this is 120, not
back.
110.
Yes, which is another good thing.
Also, are we led to believe that this concept artwork here is what our POH could look like?
I hope so.
Because if not, that's misleading advertising.
It looks very RuneScapey.
So, I don't know. I would be okay with getting rid of Wars Retreat. You guys, if it meant making the POH is useful.
I mean, Wars Retreat basically made Max Guild useless.
Yeah.
Why bother going to Max Guild? Because I got everything at Wars Retreat.
Yeah, and like, how many people in this game who are PVM at a high level aren't going to have the construction level necessary to build what they would need?
Exactly, and it gives you something else to work towards. I mean, sorry, you shouldn't just be handed things. Things should be earned, and you have that sense of accomplishment. I worked hard. I got this. It's that feeling of achievement that I want out of a game.
Or you lean into the social, and we still have the assist, right? So
you have your clans. Yeah, hey, your mates can. Yeah.
Yep.
Hey guys, I'm on. House is open. Come in and use it.
Yeah.
Just pick up your shit before you go.
And if they launch it in June, they could launch it around June 6th. 20th anniversary of the Falador Massacre.
That was on my birthday.
Wouldn't that be funny? That would be funny.
I'm level
And then
one.
just see and just have it all happen again, and then they just go, "Ha ha, just a joke," and you see.
I'm level 109 construction, so this is actually going to be one of the skills that I have to work towards when it launches for 110.
Yeah, I'm almost.
Come to think of it, I might have to too. Now that you say that, Shane. Damn.
Well, I'm almost.
It's time to start stocking up on wood and planks because it looks like all the high-end planks will be usable for it.
I'm almost at a point where I could, once we've sort of finished with the gimps, make a new account just to play through all this stuff and experience it all again. Once they've got all this stuff into place, 2026 could be the birth of Panaceus 2.
The rebirth.
You know, I'll say that I had that thought as well this week.
Mm-hmm. Just because of what's coming and what's looking and such, and without
and
all
to
that,
have an account that's not touched by MTX.
Exactly. Just I mean, the gimps are great, but you are restricted on some of the things you can do and buy and such. But this just have a full open account that has had none of that stuff. It is an exciting thought.
Yeah. All right. Wonderful. And then we have a few other little miscellaneous updates that were talked about. They mentioned a remastered content update for which they are seeking feedback on right now and on Discord. We don't necessarily know what this is going to be. At this point, they aim to do 2 of those this year. So if you have ideas of what you'd like to see remastered, go pop them in on Discord or Reddit. And by this, they mean skilling, quests, bosses, and activities. So not systems or mechanics. So what would you want improved, or what would you want kept the same? I think I'm going to say God Wars Dungeon 1 with modern boss mechanics.
Yeah, that'd be nice. That would be really nice.
Can't I have just one place that I can still win? Just one.
You got the giant mole and the King Black Dragon. There you go.
And also the new bosses in Havenhythe.
Hey, there you go.
Do you guys have any ideas for what you guys would like to see remastered?
I'd love to see Zenaris remastered.
That might be interesting. What about you, Tennis?
Yeah, I can't. No, actually, are quests allowed?
Yep, they say skilling, quests, bosses, and activities.
Yeah. I want them to remaster Dishonor Among
Thieves. I knew you were going to say that one.
I'm sorry. Having interacted with that part of the world recently, just remove that quest.
The quest itself is fine. It's just the mechanics.
That needs a remaster.
Also coming later in the year, Leagues 2. We didn't know that was going to be this year, but lo and behold, it is.
I am so excited for that. And yes, Shane, even if it's region locked,
thank you.
I'm down for the League experience. I'm going. I mean, I'm here for Leagues. If they did that, then they would have a way. There would be there'd be a way of doing it. There would be a meta. There'd be a. It'd still be fun. So. I don't want that, but hey, I'll still try it.
Yeah. Other stuff later this year, we have Havenhythe Part 2, which we'll hear more about, presumably at RuneFest, another remastered content update, and the Grazi Blood Knights, which is a solo duo bossing experience.
So when I first read Grazi Blood Knights, that sounded like a Slayer creature to me.
Yeah, it kind of does, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Is that like the Grazi Blade from
Ghrazi?
Oh, GH. God. Okay. Huh.
I
All
assume
right.
that will be something Havenhythe based.
Blood Knights would have to be, yeah.
So there we have it, folks. 2026's RS Ahead plus the Road to Restoration. I think the Road to Restoration can save RuneScape. The content will come in on the side, and I think the game will be carried by the Road to Restoration. My biggest thing that I'm looking forward to content-wise outside of the Road to Restoration has probably got to be, I think, 120 Construction.
Mine too.
Yeah.
That
That
was
and
the
leagues.
yeah. That 120 Construction, when I read about that, that was the
That's the one
dark
that stood
horse.
out.
That was
That was the one that
whoa, the
was
one I
like,
really wasn't expecting.
Yeah,
mhm.
absolutely. I would have loved to have seen, what the live reaction to that would have been in terms of the amount of cheers that would have happened for that. Because how long
It's
have
amazing.
people been asking for, the POH to mean something again?
Yeah.
I
You
feel
know
like
what? Isn't
we've
it
been
amazing?
doesn't it feel like we've been shouting into the void about these things and some of them are finally
Yeah,
happening?
Yeah,
but
and the
notice,
one update we got was those contracts.
yeah. But
Yeah.
look what it took to get it, right? Like all we had to do is not focus on treasure live events and all this other bullshit. The minute you stop doing that, look at all this
To
crazy
Yes.
stuff.
to be fair, I mean, programming and such over the last 10 years has come a long way as well. So, let's not forget that,
Mm.
you know, what wasn't possible 10 years ago will be possible today.
Yeah, and I don't know that we mentioned it here on this show, but last year before Sailing came out on OS, they actually rewrote the core of their POH just for the hell of it, presumably.
Mm.
So,
They're still using Java over there.
well,
Well,
no. Okay.
It's a rune
Just
script, right? Like,
so here's how it works. The backend servers still run Java, and that's what we interact with, what our clients interact with. Then on one hand, you have our C++ native client. Then on the other hand, you have things like RuneLite, which are Java-based, and then the old school native client as well. Those all interact with the Java server. They have an intermediate layer where the scripts that run things like the skills and whatnot are written in something called RuneScript that interact with that server engine.
okay.
So that's a bit of a brief rundown briefly about how that works. But okay, so there's our favorite updates, end of the content roadmap. We got a couple of other little quests coming, but they're going to be mostly standalone quests in addition to the Havenhythe story quests. Any final thoughts before we wrap up here?
It's a promising year.
I think so
yeah,
too.
I mean,
I mean, yes, I still, I'm still not a fan of the new UI, but with what they're promising me, I can overlook it because it's everything else is, it's in that top tier of excitement.
I
Fair
think
enough.
there's a lot to look forward to. And they have huge potential to create goodwill and really execute.
And that's what it
There are
comes down to.
pitfalls
That's
along the
what's needed.
way, but they have to execute. And
Mm.
if so, then it's a brand new start. A
That's
brand
it.
new start at 25 years is unheard of. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
So let's hope that they can pull this off. And I realize you both thought that it sounded a little bit sensational to say, can the Road to Restoration save RuneScape? After reading the article, which if you guys want to read that as well, informer.rsbnb.com, we used to do long form, but we stopped it. That's where our long form stuff used to be. So if you want to read that, go there. But what do the both of you think now after running through this and reading that article? Do you guys think that we're
Yeah.
headed in
Reading
the
the
right
article,
direction?
I sort of agreed with you, and yeah, it's heading in the right direction. My biggest thing is their marketing on getting that player base back. Bringing, and I call them new players. If you've had an account that's lapsed for 5 or 6 years, you're going to be a new player. And bringing those people back in. And as I said, 300 million accounts. I mean, there's a big data pool there you can dip into, and if they can do that successfully, get people back, get people excited. And by cutting things back like the daily scapes, getting rid of your treasure hunters and that which did turn a lot of people off, making the game more accessible. And much as I do hate the brown color, I mean, if you are getting people who have lapsed 10 years ago who dropped it during EOC and things, this is going to look so familiar to them, and stepping back into that, I really do think they may have a game that could go another 10, 15, 20 years.
Which is what everybody's wanted along the way.
I mean, at the end of the day, the artist makes the case for all these things, right? And why they're needed, why it's important. So whether, I think the game's at a place where like it needs saving or not, it's just a way of saying these things need to be done to kind of to rebuild, right? Restructure, like you said earlier, rebuilding a regime. It really is kind of like that. And even though like I know that restructuring around the XP and stuff, I know that means it's going to slow it down. That's not what I'm looking for, but I know that's what it means. I still rather have that than I'd rather have that and a chance for stability than where we've been for the last 13 years. So
yeah, and I think if we always say you have to be successful, the number one thing is you have to meet where your audience is, in this case where your players are. And the players were at a point where they would not accept anything less than Treasure Hunter being removed, and because of that, every other thing that they tried around the edges, even content, seemed to backfire and not go the direction that it needed to. But once you have met where your community is at, you can then lead with them, walk with them, and do all these other things. So the thing will be to ensure that no pitfalls crop up and that everything that is on this road to restoration can actually end up happening. And if it can't, be upfront. Don't, go into hiding for 6 months and then come out at Christmas time with an alternate roadmap and just, have things that have disappeared. And I think that's probably the biggest thing to take away from all this is that there needs to be a good, transparent communication plan that is both honest yet persuasive to the people who might be on the edges. So,
yep.
There we have it. The road to restoration, RuneScape's new era. All right. We do have a few achievements this week, so we're going to run through those right now. Pony Picker got 200 mil thieving on January 19th. Dane Karai got 99 magic on the 18th. Iron VSS got 99 crafting. And Rhino got 120 ranged on January 16th. Congratulations, everybody. Nicely done.
Well done all.
Another thing that was actually clarified here is that their commitment that there won't be a February DXP, which I think is okay. I think everybody's accepted that. So,
yep.
If you guys want to be on the podcast this year, we have a way where you can register your interest for that. It's called a Help Wanted form. Visit update.show/help. And if you fill out this form, we'll get back to you when we think there might be an opening for you. So we ask you to fill in what your time zone is, if you're willing to appear on video, what kind of RuneScape player you are, what games of RuneScape you've played, so RS3, Old School, or Dragon Wilds. Are you active on any social medias? And the most important things, why do you want to be on the show? And what is your RuneScape name and where can we contact you? If you don't provide those 3, we can't bring you on the show. Those are the 3 most important bits of this form, because if I don't know where to contact you, what your RuneScape name is, or why you're filling out this form, I can't help you be on the show. So fill it out, update.show/help. And I think it's worth noting that both of these people here filled out various forms for things back in the day to register interest in helping out in the community. So that's kind of how things begin at this show, by filling out help wanted forms or application forms like that.
And one question you won't be asked is, as much as I wanted in there, Shane wouldn't do it, is political persuasion. So don't worry about that.
No, we don't ask about that. All right. Tanis, pick of the week.
So this week, so I've been playing this game. It's the first one of these style games I've ever played. I think they're called like a gotcha RPG,
Yeah,
something like that. So it's in the style of like a Raid Shadow Legend or like a Marvel Strike Force. But this one has a Star Trek skin on it, and it's called Star Trek Legends. But it's really kind of got some depth to it. There are 0 microtransactions. Like you buy the
that
game,
surprises me.
subscribe to Apple Arcade, and there's nothing to it, right? Like you play it every day, you grind it out, but you cannot buy anything to speed it up. Like there's DLC where you can add like another chapter. That's it. So and that's cool, and it does take some time to really get your characters, because it is kind of random. And when you get achievements, you do get certain people. And the roster is, dude, it's got so many of your just favorite characters in Star Trek, and it's basically 2 away teams. It's one away team versus another away team. You build the team. Obviously, they all have roles: engineer, science, officer, security, whatnot, command. And then all of those have systems of gear and, upgrades and things of that nature. But what's really fun is there's some actually fun Star Trek lore and missions, and there's a lot of like fun stuff, and they kind of really nailed the personality of the characters. So,
well, that's good.
And we've got everybody from like there's people even from Enterprise, right? Like the Star Trek show that nobody talks about. We've got
big question. Can I play Captain Kirk?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yep. You've got Kirk and you got the original series guys. You've got Next Gen, a bunch of people, Deep Space Nine, a bunch of people, Enterprise, Discovery.
It's been my general
Yeah.
realization is that anything Star Trek that is seemingly published in this day and age is at the very least decent, because they've been very careful about who they give the license out to. Because, all these things need to, of course, be licensed by, I think it's CBS who has them now. So that's good to hear, because when I looked at what exactly the game was, I thought this was going to be kind of the thing where you need to put in a couple dollars every few days to get the next doohickey or whatever.
Yeah, no, I mean, and you could see that it easily could have been, right?
Yeah.
Especially with the way that you get your characters like being somewhat random, but you could definitely see it being that way. But I appreciate that they didn't make it that way. And it was pretty inexpensive.
It's rating is $27 Canadian, so probably like $20 US on Steam.
Yeah.
At $100 Australian, then.
But it's right. I mean,
did you say it's also on Apple Arcade?
The right price. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which is
and it's really good on those. Yeah. So
that's pretty cool. So you can have Data and Spock together.
Absolutely, yeah. Like I even got a team of Borg right now. I'm playing with, led by Locutus and the Queen. Yeah. So
that's hilarious.
So Yeah.
All right. Well, if you want to find that, link can be found in the show notes over at update.show, or just search for Star Trek Legends over on Steam. But that pretty much brings us to the end of this episode. Hopefully everybody enjoyed this. I know I did. I feel like this is the palate cleanser that everybody's been waiting for to, finally, kick Treasure Hunter to the curb and say goodbye, right?
Na 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 na.
Yep.
And in many ways, it's almost fitting, to go back to how we started, to say that Treasure Hunter kind of went out with a whimper and not a bang.
Everything old is new again.
Yeah.
I went out with a squeal.
Let's not go back that far. But of course, if you guys want the podcast delivered to you automatically, whichever platform you might be on, we're on all the big ones out there: Apple Podcasts, Pocket Casts, Spotify, Amazon, and of course YouTube at youtube.com/RSBANDB. Do like and subscribe. Greatly helps the channel out. But always good having you on the show, Tannis, especially for these big, huge, momentous ones.
Long time coming.
Indeed.
Glad I was able to be here.
I'm just glad that we can finally put this chapter to bed.
Mm-hmm.
And Parnassus, everyone's second favorite Australian. Thank you.
Yes, with the roadmap for the ages. That's
another good way of putting it.
Really good one. Yeah.
Well, folks, we'll be back next week for the first episode of RuneScape's new era. See you then, everyone. Take care.
Happy scaping all.
See ya.